Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nokbonga, and in this channel I share my experience as a UNISA law student with the aim of shedding insight on the institution and the course that I am currently doing. If that is something that you are interested in, please subscribe to the channel and share this video. Today I will be sharing my experience of my first semester of the first year under the LLB program at UNISA. So before I get into the content of this video, I'd like to firstly acknowledge the UNISA website, because a large amount of the information that I'll be sharing here today comes from there. And I'd also like to say that I will be looking at the screen on the side for most of the time, because that's where I have all my notes. Yeah, let me start. So for your LLB degree, you have to complete 40 modules. So that means 5 modules per semester over 4 years. And in the first semester, I took AFL 1501, ILW 1501, FAC 1503, HFL 1501, and SCL 1501. So in the next part of this video, I'll be talking about my experience of this module, the purpose of this module, the assessments that I had to do under this module, the study material, and how you can approach this module. So the first module I'll be looking at is AFL 1501, and in full it is called Language Through the African Lens. Now I would like to read a brief description of this module, which I took from the UNISA website. So let me just read the purpose of this module. Students who successfully complete this module will be able to demonstrate linguistic and cultural diversity awareness and sensitivity in order to enhance their interpersonal relationships in day-to-day situations. In addition, this module will equip students with appropriate skills, competencies, attitudes, and values to interact across cultures in a respectful way, while appreciating their own linguistic and cultural background in relation to the languages and cultures of others. So, as you can hear, this module is based on languages, on culture, on appreciating other people's cultures, on being culturally aware and sensitive, all of that stuff. So this module is not a law related module, and it's mostly based on your experience. When I say your experience, it like focuses on your life, because I've already mentioned that it's about cultures, it's about language. So most of the time what you'll be doing in this module, you will be reflecting and thinking about your language, the language that you speak, how many languages you speak, why do you speak the language that you speak, and your background, your family background, what languages do people in your family speak and why, and there are some questions about how you interact with other people from other backgrounds and from languages that are different from yours. So it's a course that's like that. There's not a lot of theory. Most of the work or the content of this module it's like case studies. It's like case studies, and you're asked questions on those case studies, but it's a bit of a complicated module, because it really needs you to think. Okay, it really needs you to think, because I remember we had an assignment where we had to do like a family tree, and that family tree had to be detailed, not just grandmother, grandfather, and then going down. No. It had to be a very detailed family tree, showing the cultures, showing the languages, everything. So it's a module that's like that. So in this module, students are grouped, but the purpose of the grouping is to make the teaching and the marking easier, and also because in this module there's going to be a lot of reading and commenting on other people's work. So it's much easier if students are grouped. So you get marks for that. Like, you have to comment on you have to read other people's assignments and comment on them. It's a hectic process, but it gets done. Okay, so for this module, I think we had a total of 7 assignments. We did not have an exam, and I think we had 1 MCQ or 2 MCQ assignment in this out of the 7 assignments. So for this module, always make sure that you are checking your announcements on your My UNISA My Modules website. Make sure that you are checking, even if it's every day, because that's where they post the questions, the assignment questions, or any announcement relating to the due dates. What you'll find is that not all the students doing AFL in that semester will have the same due dates or the same. No, I think the questions are the same, but the same due dates. So that's important. So don't make the mistake of seeing people posting maybe the 6th of just making an example of the 6th of Jan is the due date for assignment 1, and then you also think that it's the same for you. No, go check your sites, go check your group sites. Also for this module, there's going to be a module site and a group site. So always remember to check your group sites, because you might think that the assignment due date is on the 6th of Jan, but for your group it's actually on the 4th of Jan, and you end up not submitting, and the portal will be closed, and that is marks lost. So don't think just because it's 7 assignments you can make it up. You cannot, because the weight of these assignments are not the same. Assignment 1 does not weigh the same as assignment 4. So make sure that you do each and every assignment. Assignment 7, I think, is the main assignment, the most important assignment. So make sure that you do every assignment. Okay, you cannot make it up in the next assignment. Always check your portal for announcements. Always check everything, emails for this module, because that's how the work is done in this module. So my experience with this module, honestly, I did not like it. I don't like a module that does not have theory, where you have to think and talk about your own experiences. Because there was this question this one time about how asking us if we have ever experienced a situation where someone from a different cultural background said something to us that maybe in my culture it would be offensive, and how did I handle that. All of that, sometimes you have to make up stories. I'm sorry, but sometimes you do have to make up stories. So yeah. So the main tip for this module is that you must always check your group sites, your module group sites, okay, for announcements, any new things, any new dates, the questions, the content, because the content and the way things are structured for that module is it's not like a normal study guide. Most of the content is in the form of case studies. Okay, there's no study guide. We have case studies or bits of information, short videos. But one of those videos, it's not like they're telling you things, you know, like maybe they might like add a video of like Nelson Mandela saying something, you know, something like that. So yeah, it's a module that requires you to think and share your experiences. So if you don't have interesting experiences like me, I'm in trouble. But you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's quite easy to pass, as I've already mentioned that there are 7 assignments, and make sure that you do all the assignments. Don't think that you will make it up in the next assignment. The second module is ILW 1501, in full introduction to law. Let me read the brief description or purpose from the UNISA website. The purpose of this module is for students to gain basic knowledge, insight, and skills for the analysis and solution of elementary problems relating to some of the underlying principles of South African law in general, and to provide students with a basic knowledge of the nature, role, and implications of transformative constitutionalism within South African law. Students accredited with this module can distinguish basic legal concepts and correctly identify and apply suitable legal rules and principles to basic legal problems. So ILW 1501 is actually a very nice module because it's an introduction to law. It's a law module. It's, you know, it's what you applied for. It's what you registered for. So this module has 2 assignments, and both of them are MCQ. So that's nice. But the issue with MCQ, it's actually very easy not to not do well with MCQ. So make sure that you know the content, make sure that you've read everything, make sure that you understand the question, you make sure you understand what the question is asking you. And there's also an exam for this module. The last time I did it, the format of the exam was MCQ as well. I don't know if it has changed, but when I say last time, I'm talking about 2023, so not a long time ago. So this module has a study guide. It's quite a thick study guide. It's the thickest study guide out of the 5 modules in your first semester. But I think that the content is really interesting. It's really exciting, okay, because it's introduction to law, you know, as I already said, that's what you applied for. If you don't like introduction to law, then you know. So it's not that hard. You just have to read everything. Don't skip things. Don't be lazy. Know the concepts very well. Know how to apply the different concepts in real situations. Yeah, this module was really good for me. I think it's the one module that I got. Not the one module, but I think I got a distinction for this one. Like, I passed it very well. Yeah, ILW 1501 was a good module. And make sure that you know the concepts, because you need them. You need them forever. Yeah. The third module I'll be looking at is FAC 1503, in full, Financial Accounting Principles for Law Practitioners. So let me read the purpose that I took from the UNISA website. So, purpose of this module: to provide students with a working theoretical and practical knowledge of the general principles of financial accounting, basic knowledge and understanding of transactions essential to complete adequate accounting records encountered in transactional practice, as well as a thorough knowledge of the concept of trust money, including the applicable legislation, rules, and accounting treatment of trust money. So, if I remember correctly, we had 8 assignments for this module, and most of them were MCQs. I think all of them were MCQs, but they had a lot of calculations, maybe like the first three, it's about the accounting concepts and applying them to situations or whatever questions you are being asked, and then from there it's just calculations, it's journals, but in the form of multiple choice questions. Now, accounting, this is one module that dribbled a lot of people in first year. It is very difficult. If you don't know the concepts, it's going to be hard for you to understand and do the journals, like, you know, like your CPJs, but more than CPJs, like things that are worse than that, you know, trust journals, all of that. So be prepared to work very hard. Okay, so for accounting, so for FAC, it's important for you to know the concepts, to understand the concepts, so that you'll be able to do the calculations. So most, like from assignment 4 going on, was most of it is calculations, most of it is journals, as is expected, because it is, you know, financial accounting. Yeah, just know the concepts so that you can work on the journals and do the journals well and pass well. So there is no study guide, and there is no exam for this module. The content of the module was arranged on the My Module site, with notes, with videos, with slides. It was arranged like chapter by chapter. You start with chapter 1, like you can't jump to chapter 2, and you couldn't do the assignments if you haven't like done like a certain chapter. Like, let's say you can't do assignment 1 if you haven't done chapter 1 on the site. And when I say you haven't done chapter 1 on the site, you have to like do the slides, do the content, read everything, and the site knows. The site, you cannot cheat it knows. You can't just open like, okay, chapter 1, the slides, there's videos in between, so you can't just open like chapter 1 and then jump to like the end, and you know you want to complete the assignment without reading the content and doing the videos. You can't jump to that. Let's say you are a last minute warrior, you can't do that, because the site knows that if you open chapter 1 and less than a minute later you are saying done with the chapter, you did not watch the videos, you did not read the content. So this is a module that you cannot do in the last minutes. No, you cannot. You have to like don't try and cheat the system. You can't. Okay, go through the content, watch the videos, read the content. I also tried this one time. I was like a few hours away from the date, like the cutoff date for the assignment, a few hours away. So I opened this chapter, I don't even watch the videos, I don't even read, I quickly go and press done. I did the assignment open, it did not open. So a lot of people struggled with that, leaving assignments to the last minute, and then when they're trying to do it in like the last 30 minutes or an hour before, you know, the cutoff time, they can't see the assignment because the assignment is not available to people who don't go through the content. So advice to you is that go through the content, watch the videos, do everything. You need this daily. So like, why are you skipping it? Okay, why? I'm talking to myself here as well, because I used to be very lazy, and this year I don't want to be lazy, because it's one of those modules that are actually easy to pass well. As I've already said, read the concepts, know the concepts very well and know how to apply them, know the journals, know the structure of the journals. Kufuneka lokho nje. So everything is online, videos, notes, slides, chapter by chapter. There is no hard copy study guide. Maybe things have changed now, but I doubt things can change in like about 2 years now. So yeah, the website is very important. That is like my number one tip to you with the FAC 1503. Yeah. So the fourth module is HFL 1501 in full historical foundations for South African law. Let me read the purpose of this module, which I took from the UNISA website. I have to keep mentioning this so that you don't say I plagiarized. I have to acknowledge my source. This is me referencing. So, let me read. The purpose of this module is to provide students with an outline of the origins of the South African legal system, focusing on the indigenous African, Western, and human rights traditions. It addresses the contribution made by liberation movements in problematizing apartheid policies and laws and their contributions in shaping South African law. Aspects of transformative constitutionalism are addressed. The module gives an overview of the foundations of indigenous law, civil law foundations of the law of property and obligations, and influence of the Constitution on their development. Students who complete this module will be able to illustrate the importance of the continuous development of South African law in line with the values of the Constitution. The module is appropriate for students who wish to pursue a career as legal practitioners, paralegals, academics, and historians. It will enable graduates to enter other professions and equip them to meet broader social cultural needs. Now that purpose was a mouthful. That's a lot. It shows this module is a lot, okay? Like the content is not long, but there is so much information to take in. Historical foundations, how we got here, how we have the law that we have today, how we have the Constitution, how we have indigenous law, how we have civil law, all of that. How did we get here? So this module way back. I'm talking beyond the historical foundation here in South Africa. It starts with going like way back, but not really deep way back, but way back enough to show us that sorry, I got interrupted there by a call. I was talking about the HFL 1501. It's about it goes way back, not really that way back, but enough to show us how things such as the Roman Dutch law and the common law, all of that stuff, all those types of laws, how all of that came to South Africa and how it was developed in South Africa into what we know now. I think, if I remember correctly, South Africa, well, not really systems, but in indigenous law, customary, also known as customary law, and there is the common law. Okay, as in, I don't want to say wrong things, but all of those things, how they came about: common law, indigenous law, Roman Dutch law, English law, all of that. This module is exciting as well because it's almost, like ILW 1501. The module has a lot of Latin terms and terms from other languages that, you know, it's quite a hectic Yona, but it is interesting. So for this module, we only had a study guide, just the study guide, and the assessments. We had 5 or 6 assignments. I think it was 6, and maybe out of that 6, maybe 3 were MCQs and 3 were written assignments. Yeah, that mixture. Yona, it is a bit hard to pass because the written assignments are hard, okay? If you don't know your content very well and you don't know how to answer the questions, it's a bit tricky. So 5 or 6 assignments, a mixture of MCQs and written assignments. That was HFL 1501. My advice to you is that make sure that you know the content. Make sure that you know the content and you know the content in your own words, okay? That is the most important part about this module. Make sure that you know the content and you are not lazy to read everything, because you have to know everything. You have to know how something begins, hence the name, Historical Foundations of South African Law. So the 5th and final module is SCL 1501, and in full known as Skills Course for Law Student. So again, let me read the purpose from the UNISA website. The main purpose of this module is to introduce students to the concept of law, the function of law, and importance of skills. An overriding aspect with regard to the objective and approach of the module is to help students to develop important skills that we believe are crucial when they interact with the law from a student point of view. We are mindful of the fact that this will also help them to fit in easily in the world of practice, especially as candidate legal practitioners or simply as new entrants to the profession. The module is motivated by the realization that the main purpose for studying law is not merely to absorb information and know the rules and procedures involved. At the end of the day, students should also be able to apply the law in a practical situation when required. Knowing the law or about law is one thing, but being able to use or apply it is quite another. So, as this description has said, this skills course for law students is about teaching students about applying the law in real situations. Okay, so here you do things like you cover chapters like research, how to do legal research. Here we talk about our communication, like written communication and verbal communication. We even do, I forgot the other things, but a lot of important skills. Okay, you are taught about the structure of the courts. You are taught about the difference between an advocate and an attorney. Also a little chapter on study skills. A lot of important stuff. It's one of those modules that you keep going back to because it's a manual on how to be a lawyer, essentially. But yeah, it's also a very interesting module. It's not very long, it's not very thick. We only had a study guide for this module and two assignments. One of them was a written assignment and another one was an MCQ, and we also had an exam. Yeah, this module was not that bad. It was actually really good and very easy to pass, and to pass well, just make sure that you know the terms, the concepts, and you know how to apply them, and just make sure that you work through the activities, because most of like the answers to, you know, your assignments or even exams are found in the activities that are in the study guide, and that goes for like all the modules. Okay, make sure you work through the activities that are in the study guides. I learned this like when it was too late, okay, the hard way. The activities in the study guide actually have answers to your assignments. Okay, so don't rob yourself of that knowledge. And you know, what is this? What's the word? I forgot the word. But don't rob yourself of really good marks by not reading everything and working through everything, especially the activities, the exercises that are in the study guides. This goes for all the modules that you'll be doing. Yeah, because they go a long way. Very, very long. So that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching it all the way through to the end. And at the end, I like to talk a little bit about the aim and the purpose of this channel. So I started this channel to inform and equip those who are in high school and those who have finished high school and are looking to study law through UNISA or anything else, just about life after grade 12, how things look like. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you found this video informative, please leave a like below and share it with anyone else that you think might find this helpful as well. Thank you so much for watching.